Hi, Greg at Best Choice Trailers. Today we're going to take a walk around a Sure-Trac 7x20, 14,000 pound implement trailer. Again, it's 20 foot length. It's called a 7 foot wide, but in reality it's about 82 to 83 inches generally between your fenders. It's going to weigh in at about 3,000 pounds. It's going to give a net legal payload of about 11,000 pounds on this particular unit. It is available in different lengths. We commonly stock it in an 18 and a 22. Shown here, 7,000 pound axles. We also do it with the 8,000 pound axle upgrade, sometimes also in the 5,200 pound axles. So there are a few options on this. I'd like to point those out first, and we'll look at them a little bit more as we go around. This unit has what we call a deluxe ramp. It's a wider ramp. It's about a 2 foot wide. It's got the heavy mesh face. Traditional equipment ramps measure anywhere. I've seen them from about 14 inches to 16, sometimes as little as 13, as much as 18. That just gives a nice wide target. Also gives you the ability to haul golf carts, zero turn mowers, all kinds of equipment that doesn't like the traditional angle iron ramp. So again, we call that our deluxe ramp. Also not standard, but shown on this, we option in the 12K jack up front instead of the standard 7K jack, and then also the integrated toolbox. So you've got an above the rail toolbox that's available that sits above, and we don't like it quite as well. This one here we like a little better. It sits down in the frame, nestles in, very nice design. Everything other than that on this is standard equipment. Let's take a walk around and show you everything that is on this. So it's got a 6-hole channel up front, gives you 4 different spots for adjustability. Also has your cast coupler up front, not a stamped. If you're not familiar, back is closed, forward like it is currently open. Has your reinforcement gusset back to the frame on that. So this is a 6-inch channel tongue, and then we'll show you as well, it's a 6-inch channel frame. It's pretty well industry standard on most of your 14,000 pound GVW trailers. So you do a nice job here. Again, the jack is upgraded. It's set back far enough, it should be out of the way of any pickup truck, even possibly a flatbed with a dump insert or similar. Sets back quite a bit farther than your traditional A-frame jack. So 12K jack, if you're not familiar, it's got dual zerts on it for serviceability. Sure-Trac also does a bolt-on, not a weld-on, so if you ever need to replace it, very simple to do so. Also, these have replaceable bearings and guts inside that you can get replacement parts for. They're not throwaway jacks. It's got the bigger foot on it. If you're not familiar with these 12K jacks, spring-loaded release will spring up, and you just put your foot on it, pull it down. We like the placement up front like this, just a lot more user-friendly to get to than the ones that bury it back, which isn't the end of the world, but we like this placement a little bit better. It's also got your standard safety chains, got your hooks for it built in, which is nice. It's got breakaway cable. This uses a sealed molded 7-pin harness. Now you notice also there's a plug holder on these, which is convenient. So it's a 7-pin blade, which would be standard on pretty much all modern vehicles nowadays. And again, it is a sealed harness. So again, on the toolbox, we like this nestled box. Grease zerts on it. It's got drain weep holes, lockable box. Gives you a nice spot to put straps or chains and binders. Fair amount of tie downs on this, more so than we see on some. A lot of times you'll get maybe stake pockets or D-rings, sometimes both. This has stake pockets, D-rings, and a rub rail. Also puts the D-rings in different placement than would be a lot of times I've seen manufacturers, if they do them, put them next to a stake pocket, which doesn't always make sense. These are in an ideal spot if you ever towed a car, good spot for that. Also your hydraulic implements, you can chain those down as well with those forward D-rings. 6-inch channel tongue and frame, again, that is industry standard. You're also required at this 14,000 pound GVW to have your safety tape. It's got your newer style bullet LED lights. Trailer is powder coated. Not only is it powder coated, we like how they prep these. A little bit different than some of our other plants do a pretty quality job as far as the process itself. Again, a little bit different. Fender gusset with the bullet LEDs. This is a double broke fender. Common, most of your equipments will have the double broke. This one also has the support in the center. Also, another detail, it's a little bit different. Not only is the slipper spring, you'll notice it's got the wet bolt kit, so it's got a grease zert on those. Traditionally, the industry on a 7K axle is going to be a 235/80 R16 load range E 10-ply radial tire. What this one does have, it's a little bit different. It's got the green nitrogen-filled cap. It's also got the FSA forward self-adjusting brakes. Much like an automobile, it's going to self-tension throughout the life of the pad. Very little maintenance, if any, required. Also, it's got the Easy Lube hubs behind the black cap. Homeowner with basic hand tools can do their own bearing maintenance. Warm summer day, you can peel it out with your finger. Day like today, you probably need a flat-bladed screwdriver. Right behind it is your bearings. Tie downs toward the rear of the trailer. You also notice got a transition cover so you're not ripping your deck boards and whatnot up. So again, this is the wider deluxe ramp I was telling you about earlier with the heavy mesh. Now, another thing Sure-Trac does standard on these, this is a 4-inch channel ramp. Industry norm up to and including most 16K trailers and even many trailer manufacturers with triple axle 21Ks would be 3-inch channel. This is a little heavier. This is a 4-inch. Also spring assist standard. It's got the kicker knee to support it. Now when you go to the wider ramp, not a whole lot of adjustability, but there's a little bit. I would say you got roughly 17 inches maybe on center from side to side. If you ever need, you can make a center, you can put a piece of angle and do a center mount ramp if you need a antique tractor or similar narrow front tractor. Ramps are fairly lightweight with the spring assist. Even with one hand I can pick it up, no problem. It's got your traditional flat iron style bars that take you up to a 90. 2-foot beaver tail standard equipment. This unit's got a 16 on center channel floor support. You'll find that's pretty customary in the industry. It's also got a passenger side spare tire mount in front side of the fender. Sure-Trac generally pays attention to a lot of little details. I'll point out some of those. You've got between the tongue and the frame, they silicone those joints to help keep your rust from forming in those areas. Also notice they weld the outside of the brackets. They also come back in, do the inside of the brackets on the spares. Said earlier about the gussets help protect your fenders on these. Said about the board retainers there. The 4-inch channel ramp. Placement of the D-rings and jack. Just a lot of little stuff on these that we like. How it's done. Bulkhead they do a nice job with. Put the breakaway battery out of the way. Again, we do stock this in different lengths. Shown was a 20, we do a 18, 22. You can also get it in a 24 or 16 if you want something real short or real long. Don't do these in a gooseneck, but we do stock them in the 8,000 pound axles quite often as well. If you have any questions on this or any of our other trailers, feel free to give us a ring at 717-220-4220, or you can visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com. Thanks for looking.